Asian cultures, custom, tradition, and culture contribution to human act. In Asia, great island culture contribution to human act. Asian culture is undoubtedly one of the most important in the world history. Its history, tradition, and gear have fascinated people from all over of the world. Living is clear that the West still has much to learn. There is no single homogeneous truth about the Asia continent culture. Rather, what occurs is a diversity of cultures which have some similar features. It is true, but they also show large differences. This also happens in every country where we find largest difference between the custom and tradition of each side of it. Culture and tradition in Asia are an almost inextricable source of guilt that the modern man just beginning to know a ethnia, China or India, or Sri Lanka, or Burma. All Asian countries offer a rich cultures that to this day remains quite hidden of this side of the world. The culture of Asia is basically known for the language, its custom, its religion, tribes and festivals.
Most important culture of Asia, Burmese culture. Burmese culture has always been greatly influenced by the Nishin and the Mon people. More recently, British imperialism has influenced various aspects of their culture. Burmese culture is a century mixture of Burmese, Chinese, Indian, and Thai influence.
Cambodian culture. The culture of Cambodia and Khmer culture is the set of characteristics that make up the social, historical, and anthropological identity of the Khmer ethnicity. The culture and tradition of Cambodia is governed by the religion of its inhabitants in a country where 1950% of the population practices the Theravada Buddhism. Khmer culture almost disappeared during the bloody reign of the Khmer Rouge communists in the 19th.
Culture of China is one of the oldest and most complex in the world cultures. Within China, territory more than 50 ethnic groups are counted. The history of China shows more signs of independence than any Asian culture. The Chinese people have not suffered from the invasion.
Korean culture is the result of more than 30,000 dollars of history. It has been influenced by the entire Asia religion, especially China. Koreans' case values are based on a foundation of Confucianism, which emphasizes ethics.
The Philippines is considered as the only Hispanic culture of Asia. There is a varied number of different languages, dialects, and religious traditions that is the result of mixture of foreign influence and native elements. Philippines culture is closely linked to the different populations and different flows of migration that have happened in the region of the centuries.
The Andean culture includes religion beliefs, custom, food, tradition, language, ceremony, artist expression, values of a culture that has been shaped by its long ancient history. It is noteworthy that Indian is the second entity with great culture and linguisticity in the world.
Culture Indonesia. Indonesia culture is the result of mixing of different civilizations. Is today an Islamic country.
Japanese culture. The culture of Japan is the result of historical process. It is a single culture in the world that is unlike any other. Is greatly though Japan was closed off outside world for a long time. Japanese culture is one of that fascinating the world as something mysterious and distant culture.
Me superaron. Culture Vietnamese. The culture of Vietnam and culture civilization based on wheat rice cultivation is one of the oldest in Asia. Vietnamese culture and French influence, China custom and rural tradition continue greater influence and culture of Vietnam.
Major holidays and festivals in Asia: Chinese New Year, Xiaoming Festival, Festival of Holi, major religions Orientals, Buddhism, Confucianism, Hinduism, Islam, Jainism, Judaism, Sikhism, Shinto, Taoism, Zoroastrianism.
Custom and traditional. Some ancient customs continue today in Asia, such as maintaining a good reputation. An act not only affects the individual but to the family. Also, honor is reflected in keeping one's word and promises. In Asia, it is considered the family as the pillar of society and are the largest and the elite who deserve the respect of young people. Usually there are between Asian little physical contact and the greeting is done making bonds. On the subject of marriage, even today in Asia they are still carried marriage arranged by parents.
Aslan culture. Culture contribution to humanity. Among the culture contribution of Asia, found some religion like Confucianism, Taoism, and Buddhism, but also the methods, the meditation, technological production, such as car and appliances, the animated video, games, origami.
Now, this is a result of a little explanation about West Asia. We hope that you like. Thanks. No.
By realized for Diana Castañeda, Marisol Cruz, and me, Vanessa.